It's 11 p.m., and your dog just rolled onto its back in front of you, exposing the one part of its body it can never defend. No claws, no teeth, just a soft belly, completely open, completely unguarded. You probably smiled and rubbed it without a second thought. But what just happened in that moment is one of the rarest acts of vulnerability in the entire animal kingdom. And your dog performs it for you almost every single day without you ever realizing what it costs them to do it. Dogs don't speak. They can't sit you down and tell you how they feel about you. So instead, they built an entire silent language made of posture, breath, and timing, one designed to say a single sentence over and over: "I trust you with my life." Most owners miss almost all of it. Today, you won't. Because by the end of this, you're going to look at your own dog completely differently, and you're never going to see just a pet again. Let's start with that belly. In the wild, an exposed abdomen is a death sentence. It's where the vital organs sit, unprotected, one bite away from catastrophe. Wolves almost never expose their bellies to anything they haven't spent months building trust with, and even then, it's a rare, calculated act. So when your dog flips onto its back in front of you, stretching out like gravity is optional, it isn't asking for a belly rub out of habit. It's making a decision that, evolutionarily speaking, should terrify it. And it's choosing you anyway. Now watch what happens right after. If your dog lets out a long, slow exhale through the nose, almost like a sigh, that's not boredom. Canine behaviorists call this a relaxation exhale, and it's linked to a drop in sympathetic nervous system activity, the same system responsible for fight or flight. In plain terms, your dog's body just told its own brain, "We are safe here. We can stand down." Dogs don't sigh like that around strangers, around loud environments, or around anyone they're even slightly unsure of. They save it. And they usually save it for you. Here's where it gets stranger. If you've ever watched your dog sleep and noticed their paws twitching, their eyelids fluttering, maybe a soft, muffled bark escaping mid-dream, you were watching something remarkable. Deep REM sleep, the kind where dreaming happens, only occurs when the nervous system feels completely secure enough to fully disengage from the environment. A dog that doesn't trust its surroundings will sleep in short, shallow bursts, one ear always listening, one eye practically still open. Researchers studying canine sleep architecture have found that dogs need a felt sense of safety to drop into that deep dreaming state at all. So if your dog is twitching through a dream beside you right now, its brain has already run the calculation and concluded there's no threat in the room. You passed the test without even knowing one was happening. Then there's the weight. Not metaphorical weight, actual physical weight. That moment when your dog presses their full body against your leg or drapes themselves across your lap like a blanket that outweighs the both of you. Some trainers dismiss this as just seeking warmth. But watch closely, and you'll notice dogs almost never lean their full weight onto someone they're wary of. Leaning requires giving up balance, giving up the ability to react instantly. It's a small, physical surrender. Your dog is quite literally putting its balance in your hands, trusting that you won't let it fall. Now for the eyes, because this is where the science turns almost cinematic. A team of researchers in Japan, publishing through the journal Science, discovered something that changed how we understand the entire dog-human bond. When a dog gazes softly into its owner's eyes, oxytocin, the same hormone responsible for the bond between a mother and her newborn, rises in both the dog and the human. The owner looks back, oxytocin rises again in the dog. It's a closed loop, a biochemical conversation happening entirely through eye contact. And here's the detail that should stop you in your tracks. This loop does not activate between wolves and humans, even wolves hand-raised from birth by loving caretakers. Something happened over thousands of years of domestication that rewired dogs specifically to bond with human eyes the way human infants bond with their mothers. When your dog holds your gaze a little too long, a little too softly, they're not just looking at you. They're chemically falling for you, one glance at a time. Which brings us to something almost every dog owner has experienced but never questioned: the follow. Your dog gets up from a warm, comfortable spot, walks across the house, and lies back down in whatever room you just walked into. Not because the new room is better, not because there's food there. They followed you. Animal behaviorists call this shadowing, and it's most common in securely attached dogs, the same term used in human infant attachment research. In a landmark study out of Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest, researchers used a modified version of the Ainsworth-Strange situation, originally designed to study human toddlers, and found that dogs display the exact same secure attachment patterns as one-year-old children with their mothers: proximity seeking, distress at separation, calm returning at reunion. Your dog isn't just living in the same house as you. Neurologically, they're orbiting you the way a child orbits a parent, using you as what psychologists call a secure base from which to explore the entire rest of the world. And then there's the tail, but not the way you think. Everyone assumes a wagging tail means happiness, but posture tells the real story. A tail held low and loose, swaying in wide, relaxed arcs, paired with soft, blinking eyes and a slightly open mouth, is one of the clearest visual signatures of trust in canine body language. Compare that to a stiff, high tail vibrating in short, fast movements, which often signals arousal or tension, not joy. Learning to read the difference means learning to see straight into your dog's nervous system in real time. When that low, loose wag shows up the second you walk through the door, you're not just being greeted. You're being told, in the clearest language a dog has, that your presence just flipped their entire body from alert to safe. Last is the one that quietly breaks people's hearts in the best way: the gift. The single sock, the stuffed toy dropped gently at your feet, the stick carried 3 blocks home just to be placed by your shoe. Dogs are not naturally inclined to give away resources. In the wild, holding on to something valuable is a survival advantage. So when a dog voluntarily surrenders an object to a human, especially without being asked, some behaviorists interpret it as an extension of trust-based bonding behavior seen in social canines. A small offering that says, "I have something, and I want to share it with you specifically." It's not about the sock, it's about who they chose to give it to. Here's the part that should genuinely concern you, though, and it's important enough to slow down for. If a dog that has always exposed its belly, always leaned into you, always slept deeply beside you, suddenly stops, it is never random. A sudden refusal to expose the abdomen can be an early sign of abdominal pain or internal discomfort. A dog that stops leaning or pressing its body weight against you may be quietly protecting a joint that's starting to hurt, often the earliest detectable sign of arthritis, long before a limp ever appears. And in dogs over the age of 8, a sudden unraveling of these trust behaviors, paired with disrupted sleep and apparent confusion, can be an early marker of canine cognitive dysfunction, the canine equivalent of dementia, which is estimated to affect roughly a third of dogs in that age group. These behaviors aren't just sentimental. They're a running diagnostic your dog has been handing you for free the entire time you've known them. So think back to that belly exposed to you last night. Think about the sigh, the twitching dream, the full weight leaned into your leg, the gaze that lingered a second too long, the room they followed you into for no reason at all. The low, easy wag at the door, the sock left quietly by your feet. None of it was random. None of it was owed to you. Out of every human your dog has ever met, every hand that's ever reached toward them, they built their entire nervous system's sense of safety around you specifically. If you noticed even one of these 7 signs in your own dog while watching this, drop a comment and tell me which one hit you the hardest, because I read every single one. And if the eyes got you, if that lingering gaze felt like it meant something more than you realized, wait until you see what's actually happening inside your dog's brain the moment they lock eyes with you. It's stranger and more moving than everything you just learned, and that's exactly where we're going next.